Hello and welcome to the Strong, Healthy, Happy podcast. Today, a little bit overdue, but I'm here today with my 5-day summer challenge roundup. And I thought it was really important to feed back the results of the 5-day summer challenge, how the ladies got on, a little bit more detail about what those 5 habits were and how they benefit you and how they benefited the ladies on the challenge. To start with, I want to give you a bit of an understanding in the types of women that joined the challenge, how many finished the challenge, and how the challenge went as a whole. Because I'm hoping that if you didn't join that 5-day summer challenge, but you're listening to this podcast, it will encourage you to join my next challenge, whenever that might be. But I will definitely be doing another one because it really was great fun. It was very beneficial. It brought a lot of women together in a community, all working towards similar goals, achieving the same habits that were part of the challenge, and keeping everybody accountable and interested and focused over that 5-day period. And it really was beneficial. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, of the women who joined the challenge, and everyone filled out an application form, which I've referenced, and I've had all my information in front of me, I would say 80% of the ladies who joined the challenge were their long-term goal was to lose weight. That was the biggest goal that the women had. Now, I had 29 women on the challenge, plus quite a lot of my existing clients who wanted to take part in it. And why not? It was a great fun challenge. So our numbers were reaching 40, I think just slightly above 40, but there were 29 completely new ladies who were not undergoing coaching. So I'm going to base my findings on these 29 women. Obviously, I work closely with my one-to-one clients anyway, and this was just an extra added bonus on top of their coaching. Now, just to recap that again, 80% of the 29 women who joined the summer challenge, their goal was to lose weight. Now, the purpose of the challenge was only 5 days. Weight loss wasn't the purpose. The purpose of the challenge was to commit to 5 days and achieve the 5 habits each day for 5 days. That was the aim of the challenge. Now, I selected the habits very carefully with a bit of thought about what habits I wanted these women to have as their challenge. But I'm digressing. I'm going to come on to that in a minute. Now, the other 20% of women on the challenge, their focus, their long-term goals was improved health, and a small minority were wanting to focus on their strength gains. So just to recap that, 80% their goal was weight loss, 15% just said they want to improve their health, and then about 5%, the rest of the 5% were strength focused. So you can see it was a bit of a mix, although the biggest goal was weight loss. Now, I had made clear that it wasn't a weight loss challenge, right? I wouldn't do a weight loss challenge. But these habits, the purpose of these habits is to support health, weight loss, strength gains. Doesn't matter what your goal is. These 5 habits that I'm going to recap and tell you what they are fundamental basics. I don't mean basics as in they're easy. I just mean 5 basic foundation blocks to supporting your health and whatever your goal might be. Now, the 5 habits were taking a daily walk outside, including protein in each meal every day, including 5 servings of either veg or fruit per day, increasing hydration, and the last habit was supporting sleep by removing your phone. So I had specified to come off your phone 30 minutes prior to you wanting to turn your light off, lie down, and go into bed. That was to support better sleep. Now, I'm going to recap each of those habit based targets, why they're important. So, including protein in each of your meals will not only benefit your long term health. Protein, when it comes to your goal of weight loss, protein keeps you fuller for longer. So it makes sense to include protein at regular intervals throughout the day. Those intervals are your meals, ideally breakfast, lunch, dinner, no matter what time your timings are, just to have 3 regular meals in a day and to include protein at each. The servings, 5 servings of veg and fruit, I had encouraged ladies to add those veg, salad, etc. to meals, and fruit depending the meal type, and just to generally in a day to be including 5 servings. I didn't specify serving size or get too specific. I just wanted to encourage increasing the amount of veg, salad, or fruit in a day. Hydration was about noticing thirst. And also, when it comes to weight loss, often we think we feel hungry, but actually we're thirsty. And so, just to increase hydration in a general term. I did give a guideline, but I also reassured the ladies on the challenge that your body's a very good indicator at telling you when you need to drink, and it will signal that you're thirsty. And the other way that I raised awareness around hydration is to notice the color of your wee when you go to the toilet, and you ideally want to keep it a nice light pale yellow color, and anything darker than that you need to increase your hydration. And then supporting sleep by coming off your phone 30 minutes prior to you going to bed. Now, over the 5 days, the ladies, they had cards, like virtual cards, and they were saved in their camera roll. And every day they would go into their card and they would be able to tick the habits that they had completed from the previous day, and then they would share it in the group chat. So I would be able to see everyone's cards, how they were doing. Now, although the goal was to tick all 5 habits, I really did emphasize that I wanted everybody to just do their best. And it didn't matter if they didn't manage to tick all 5, because I want to promote a mindset of recognizing that doing your best, even if you don't do it all, is really beneficial, and it's a lot better than thinking that you fail by not doing them all and then giving up completely. And I like to call this imperfect action, which is you recognizing that you may have not been able to do it all. It might be imperfect, but you're going to keep doing your imperfect action, but be consistent with it, because it's better than trying to do all 5 ticks. And then if you don't, you think, well, there's no point, and then you give up. So it's very important to recognize that your best is always good enough. Every day in the chat group, I would put in a poll, just asking how they were getting on, getting a feel whether anyone was struggling or needed additional support, which I was more than happy to give. And I also asked at the beginning of the challenge which they thought was the habit that would prove the most challenging for them. And then I posted a poll at the end asking which habit actually was the most challenging. And I'm going to give you the results of that. And also, I supported each habit by recording a very short mini podcast about why it was the habit, what the purpose was, how it benefits you, and tips to how you can achieve that habit target. And you can listen to those because they're uploaded as a podcast, and you'll see them not far below this podcast. They're in the more recent episodes before this one. So do go take a listen. Because you can aim for those habits whenever you want to, and have the support to understanding more about those habits. So interestingly, what people thought would be the biggest challenge wasn't necessarily what ended up being their biggest challenge. And if you think about it, many of the women that I coach, not all, but many of the women I coach, tend to be sort of 40 and above. I do have younger, and I do want to stress that. And there were some younger on the challenge, but the majority are between that 40 and 60-ish brackets. Now, bearing in mind, these are the perimenopause or menopausal years. Interestingly, and sleep, poor quality sleep being one of the symptoms of menopause, sleep ended up being one of the biggest challenges, but not sleep per se, actually sleep. It was actually the ability to come off your phone 30 minutes prior to bed that proved the biggest challenge. And it's interesting because many women going through menopause report like the difficulty getting to sleep and the poor quality sleep they experience. Now, I had a bit of a discussion about this within the group, because some ladies were questioning like that they always go on their phone prior to going to bed, it's how they wind down, etc. And what I was trying to explain is that there's no issue with you going on your phone, but the problem with doing it, the potential problems with doing it right up until you go to bed is, one, the blue lights, and it stimulates brain activity, and it also can distort your circadian rhythm, because your circadian rhythm, instead of getting ready for bed, it thinks it's wake time because of the blue light, and it can affect your sleep. Now, yes, you can turn off blue light, reduce it, get special glasses, etc. And maybe that might help you. However, scrolling on your phone in bed is still a very stimulating activity to do. And it can also be very triggering. You could be on your phone, you could be scrolling through social media, and you might see a post or a friend write something or an influencer tell you something, and it might make you feel a little bit triggered. No matter who posted it or what it is, it may trigger you. And if you feel triggered, that is going to cause you some stress, and stress before bed is really not a great way for you to try and get to sleep. It's going to stress you out, and it's going to affect your sleep quality. You may also, as you're scrolling on your phone, see a work email pop up, or maybe something a text message. Maybe it's from a friendship group chat, and you feel this urge, you must reply straight away. You can't wait till the following day. So you start engaging in conversation, and this is all A, increasing your heart rate, B, potentially increasing your stress, and you're not winding down before bed. And bearing in mind that sleep is one of the hardest things to be able to achieve when you're in your menopausal years. And not solely for menopause. Maybe you've got young children and your sleep quality is really bad. Perhaps they're waking through the night, whatever it might be, whatever your personal sleep challenges are. How you wind down and get to bed and get to sleep really does matter. And scrolling on your phone right up until bed is probably not a very conducive way for you to wind down before bed. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I am sort of trying to highlight that it could be one of the reasons why you're not getting good sleep quality. And it was the biggest challenge, and it shows how many people, I would say pretty much everyone, and I'm like, trust me, I include myself in this. I notice a difference when I'm very strict with myself and I remove my phone 30 minutes before bed. If I haven't done that, I definitely see a difference in getting to sleep and staying asleep, because my brain's whirring away thinking about things that I might have seen before I was trying to wind down, not doing so very successfully because I was scrolling on my phone. So it's really something for you to reflect on and think about if you are one of those people that's scrolling on your phone. And on the flip side as well, although this wasn't a habit-based challenge, a habit goal in the challenge, if the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is go and scroll on your social media or get on your phone and just do mindless whatever it is, it's not intentional, i.e. you're checking your schedule for the day or doing something that sets your day up, if you're just going on your phone to check your messages and scroll mindlessly, it's not a great way to wake up either and start your day, especially if something triggers you or you have FOMO because maybe you see the group of friends were all out last night and you weren't invited. So you need to support your health in those terms as well as nutrition, as well as exercise. So it's just something for you to reflect and think about. The other biggest challenge of the 5 challenges, interestingly, was hydration. And many of the ladies on the challenge realized they were definitely not drinking enough. And, again, it benefits your health by making sure your hydration is in the right place. And like I say, the best indicator of that is the color of your urine will really give you an indication of where your hydration is. Now, at the end of the challenge, I offered the ladies that had done the challenge a one-to-one check-in. And the purpose of the one-to-one check-in was to find out what they enjoyed about the challenge, how they would feel if they maintained the habits that they had got into a bit of a consistency with on the challenge, and any feedback, and basically whether there was anything that I could help them with individually. And I gave them an individual response. 22 of the 29 ladies took me up on the check-in response, of which I have now responded to those ladies. And some of those ladies have now gone on in fact, no, let me stop there. I'm jumping ahead. So 22 of the 29 ladies took me up. Feedback from 99% of those ladies that filled out that, 99.9%, replied that they loved the 5-day challenge. What they loved about it most was the focus over those 5 days that they had, the accountability, and the group support, the community. They were the things that they loved the most. And the other feedback was that the 5 habits were really manageable, with everyone saying they intended to continue with them, which is really pleases me greatly, because these challenges, like I said earlier, are fundamental and the fundamental basis of good health. And I also want to stress that the feedback that the 5 habits were manageable, and the word manageable was used repeatedly in the check-in forms that were completed by those 22 ladies. And it shows that just 5 habits: protein, fruit and veg, hydration, daily walk, supporting better sleep, made such a huge difference. They're manageable. We didn't do anything drastic. Nobody counted calories, nobody restricted, nobody cut anything out, nobody did anything like that. It was just 5 habits that were manageable. And as a generalization, all of those who completed the check-in form felt better as a result of just 5 days of consistently ticking off the habit targets. Not perfectly, but consistently over the 5 days. Many of the women that filled the check-in form reported that they had made improvements overall to their food choices throughout the day over the 5 days. And the quality of the food they were eating was much more nutritious, which led to less snacking, and eating much better quality food, feeling a lot fuller. And that's just amazing in 5 days, right? And remember, this is not a weight loss challenge. This is a feel good from habit challenge. 5 days, habits. And with this in mind, everyone felt better for it. But I also had feedback from a couple of ladies that they had lost weight. Now, I want to emphasize the word weight, because they may have lost weight. Whether they lost body fat is questionable, because 5 days is a very short period of time, and they may very well have lost water weight. But what this shows is that they reduced bloating from more healthier, nutritious food choices. And if they continue with these habits and adopting the small tweaks and changes they had made as a result of the habits, they will go on to continue losing weight, but not just losing weight, losing body fat if they continue to do that, especially noticing that they snacked less as a whole across the group. The ladies were snacking less and they ate less ultra processed foods like cakes, sweets, fast foods, etc. So very, very beneficial overall, and also emphasizes my point that you don't need to do anything drastic to improve your health, support a weight loss goal, and help you feel good. Now, a group of ladies from the 5-day challenge have now joined my group coaching program, which is very exciting. On recording this, we are officially on day 2, and it's an amazing atmosphere, if I can use the word atmosphere. It is a bit of an atmosphere. We've had a welcome Zoom, so everyone's chatted and met and introduced themselves. I've answered all the questions, and the vibe in the group chat is really positive. And the ladies, just one day into group coaching, have already, I asked them a question, what have you already learned from just one day of group coaching? To which they have already answered. I'm not going to go through that on today's podcast, but I will be talking about that. Now, with the group coaching, they will still maintain habit-based targets. They may be slightly different. They may be a bit more individualized, but they have habits. They also have exercise, workouts, dependent if it's gym or home. They also have lifestyle and step targets, and they have weekly check-ins, and they have my coaching support as well as a group community. Now, if you missed out on the 5-day summer challenge, or you're listening to this and you were one of the ladies that did the 5-day summer challenge, I will be repeating another. And if you've already done the challenge, I have your details and I will automatically let you know if I was to do another one. But if you're listening to this and you think, oh, I want in on that next challenge, just message me through my social media. All my contact details are in the show notes, and I will put you on my email list so that I can notify you when the next challenge happens. I have no set date or plans. If you are interested in coaching, whether it be group coaching or one-to-one coaching, again, application form is linked in my show notes. Please do get in touch. And also, I really do welcome questions. If you have any questions at all about anything to do with health, weight loss, fitness, exercise, strength, anything, please know that you can message me and ask me questions at any time. Doesn't matter who you are, whether we've ever had any contact before. I welcome contact. I love to hear from you, and I love to receive messages, and I genuinely love helping. So please do fire your questions over. Contact details are in the show notes. And if you did take part in the 5-day summer challenge, I just want to say a huge thank you so much. It was great to have you part of it. It was my first 5-day challenge. And because of its success, I will be doing another. It's just a case of when. So please do keep in touch, and I'll catch up with you soon.